Hi, I'm so glad to be here at INDIGO. My name is Michelle Kuo. I'm the writer of Reading with Patrick. I'm also a longtime educator in prisons, professor, and a human rights lawyer. Reading and writing, for me, when I read, I felt less alone. When I wrote, I felt less alone. I've always thought about this connection between reading and loneliness. What is it about the world that makes us feel alone? What is it about the world that makes us feel unable to get up in the morning? And when we read, we discover all sorts of reasons why people in the world try to write. They write from prison because they're trying to speak out. They write from their bedrooms because they want to connect. They write out of political protest. They write to fight for people's rights, for women's rights, for queer people's rights. People write for so many reasons, but it's an attempt to break through that loneliness and to connect to people from all over the world. When we read and write, we learn that we're not alone, that there are people across time and history, from Asia to Europe to Africa, all across centuries, all across continents, and that we come from a long history of protest and expression. Literature, I think, keeps us honest. If you think about all the kinds of way words are used, we know words from advertisements make us try to buy things, make us feel bad about how we look. We know that words from the government sometimes don't tell us the full truth. So how do we know what's true and not true in a time where words are used as transactional tools to manipulate us? And I think often of the dissident Havel, who eventually became president, and he said that his goal in life was to live in the truth. So how do we live in the truth? And I think when we read novels and poetry and autobiographies of inspiring people, we recognize the truth. We have an inner voice that says, this is true, this is honest, this is about the complexity and difficulty of being human. That's literature. It keeps things true, and it helps us live in the truth. And that's a truth against totalitarianism, against commercialism, against decadence, against meaningless lives, and it teaches us who we want to become and that it's okay to not quite be there yet. Oh, I feel for you. My family is from Taiwan. I live in Taiwan, and we have very similar educational systems where everything is about one test, where every kid is ranked. You always know whether who's number one, number two, number three. But I think actually after living or being in South Korea for a few days, I think the system here might be even more brutal than in Taiwan. I saw kids with backpacks who were very young at 11 p.m. going inside of a place to study. And I just want to say, don't lose hope. I often tell people that young people your age, your inner voice about what is good and right and beautiful is much stronger than that of adults. I don't know why that is. I think maybe adults are just tired or have so many responsibilities or maybe bitter about certain disappointments in their life. So hear your inner voice. That inner voice is telling you what is good and beautiful. The water, the ocean, being close to nature. Also, just freedom and individuality and crazy, weird things. People just trying to be themselves. I trust that voice. The other thing I want to say is every person is different. You each have a gift. It might be to connect with other people. It might be drawing or painting. It might be science. So you have to trust that gift of yours and keep pursuing that gift. I love that you're asking about values, and maybe it's just that there isn't one value to live by, but to know what your own values are, to be aware and conscious of what your values are, to be clear, making a lot of money or trying to be successful for success's sake, or to be obedient to somebody else's values, those aren't values. Those aren't values. But there are many other values that we all have a different attraction to. And for me, I'll just list a few, but it could be different for you. Being open to changing my mind, listening well. I don't listen well sometimes, I interrupt people, but I want to listen well. Connecting to people who are different from me, whether in class or race or religion. The arts, valuing the arts as a value, not because the art, not related to whether the artists are successful, but just trusting my own connection to the art. So I have a lot of different values. Caring for the earth, even though I still use plastic sometimes and feel bad. I have a lot of values that I'm always aware of when I'm falling short, and maybe that's the honesty with oneself about whether you're living with your values is the very meta value that I have. Thank you.